Greetings, salutations. I apologize for not getting a video up. I have been out straight. Um, First, there was the cameras I had to learn on, which the guy teaching me was a complete moron, but hey, I managed to figure it out. And then there was a little problem with my knee, which I hurt in Christmas. It's really been bothering me. That kind of slows me down a little bit here. On my days off and everything, I've been trying to get stuff done, but my leg is just killing me. Oh, but anyway, we started this today, training on this, and it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is very busy here. There was another guy working the front gate, me, and the guy that runs the place, plus a guy on the phone trying to explain how to do something. You can't learn anything over the phone. I mean, think of that. Who learns anything over the phone? Police? No. Doctors? No. A mechanic? No. Heck, I had to take a 40-hour class to be a security officer in Florida. I didn't do that over the phone. So why do you think you can train somebody to do something over the phone is beyond me. I don't understand what that... So, it didn't go well. The guy that runs the place got really mad and he wasn't too happy, and there's a lot of things that this system was supposed to do that have gone by the wayside. A lot of money's been spent, and in my opinion, probably was one of the bigger scams I've ever seen, but I digress. So I got here tonight, and of course I took last night off because my eye, update on my eyes for those of you who've been following me for a long time. My eyes, I haven't had an injection in my eye since October. So I went this time, and eyes are looking good, nothing's changed. So now we're going 10 weeks before the next visit. The goal is to get it down to like maybe once every 6 months to go in for a checkup on the eyes. So I'm very happy about that. My eye doctor's happy, things are going great, so I'm very stoked about that. So I took last night off because she was going to look at both eyes, and I just, my knee's killing me. I needed that extra day off to go instead of going into work. So I'm going to miss out on a few hours of pay, but I made a little bit of it back on training. To get back to that, the people that put this program together for us don't think like you and I do. I think like computer people. That all the components are there, but it doesn't run smoothly. It doesn't have it doesn't work like it should. There should be like in a Windows program where it opens it up, you click on a yes no answer, it goes to the next page, the next window, and then at the end you get the answer. That's how it should be set up, especially in this kind of environment, because there's just so many people coming through this front gate. We can't be mecking around trying to find the system isn't laid out very good. Everything we need is there, it's just not really good. So after the training and everything, I went home. I got some rest. I come in tonight, and of course I had to do payroll and everything else, so I didn't tackle it. And then I got on there, and in my head, when I was taking the training today, even though it was going completely wrong, in the back of my brain, I'm like, there's like 4 or 5 steps here. What we need to do is not look at the big picture of what the system does, because a lot of what the system does we're not going to use. And I need to streamline it down to what needs to be done to get it to do what we want. So the problem is, like with I figured out how to get the cameras back, and I figured how to get the internet back by rebooting everything. By doing that, it's now making me the guy that gets all the answers for them instead of the people who install this stuff, giving us the right information. I'm working around it, getting it figured out my own, which is a good thing because that shows that I'm, a team player. I'm here making an effort to do the job as a supervisor. The bad side of that is they expect me to do that stuff all the time, and I'm not coming in on my days off to fix stuff. There's a fine line, and I'm walking it. Now this, I think I got it figured out. I've got some, in my head, I got it kind of figured out. And I could tell them that right off the bat and say, hey, I think I got this figured out. But then they would just be like, okay, so let's get it up and running by next week. And that ain't going to fly. First of all, I gotta make sure I got it right. And then I have to write out a procedure that I can print out and give to each security officer. And then I have to train each security officer to do it. And I'm not going to be forced to do this. I mean, this is a 4-week install that's been 5 months installing. And I don't think an extra week of me trying to get it down so it works for everybody is going to kill them. I want to have a perfect list of what you got to do, procedure-wise, and if you follow the procedure, it'll work every time. And I've got a rough thing, even though I only had 1 hour training on this, and basically it wasn't even a 1 hour training. Between the phone calls being dropped and stuff going on, it was more like a 30-minute training. But I know this company, I can't rely on them to give me what I need. So once he showed me the basics. I had to put it together like a puzzle. Fortunately, I happen to be a puzzle kind of guy. Tetris, best game ever made. And I got it figured out, and I like to figure things out and make a procedure for people. So this kind of comes up the same thing I did with the cameras over there. I wrote a procedure that's now hanging on that wall over there of the steps you do for the cameras. And this got it. I got one in my head. I got it kind of tracked out, but I'm not about to tell them, hey, I think I got it figured out yet. I want to be able to do this. I got 2 more nights at work. I want to go back tomorrow night because I come in today at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and do this. So it was in the middle of my day. So I didn't get as much sleep. And now that I've kind of got it figured out, you know, where you get to where you, instead of having a big pile of a mess, you got, just an example, you got a good example is Skittles. Here, this is an example I'll give you. They threw a bag of Skittles at me, and it's nothing but messed up. And I got to remember which order goes: the orange, the red, the pink, the blues, the greens. You know what I mean? What I've done is I've separated everything. I got the blues, the greens, the yellows, the reds, the orange. And now I've got in my head how you go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to next. But it's not perfect. And I'm not about to rush into this, and then later on they'll be like, well, you said you had it. I'm not even the one who should be figuring this all out. The training has been horrible on this. The company that installed this is ridiculous. And if I don't want to say anything about them, but let's just say I would never use this company for anything. Anyway, I've got it figured out where I've got a procedure written out. Now I have to tweak that procedure for the next 2 nights to make sure that I've got everything that could happen, and then work it out. Once I have something I'm confident works, I will then share it with them. They can look at it. They can come down and say, hey, you know, that makes sense. Yes, that'll work. Just like they did with the one over the cameras. They approved it. Once I've written it all out, they said, yeah, that's great. And then once that's all done, then I can do the training. But I'm not going to be strapped into this whole getting it done in 2 weeks' time. Everybody's going to learn at a different rate. And just because I can wrap my mind around it and kind of figure it out within a 24-hour period doesn't mean I got it down perfect. Doesn't mean I got all the answers. It just means I got a rough thing I can go by. And now we got to put in the details. It's like when you sculpture something. You chip away all the stone that you don't need, and then once you got a basic form, you go in and put in the details. And that's where I'm at. I'm putting a lot of time and effort into this because I want it to work easy for the guys. And I should not have to be the one to do all this. But it's here. They want us to use it. I got to make it work. There's no getting around it. So instead of fighting against it, you embrace it. You accept the challenge. You say, okay, you wanna not work? I'm gonna pick you apart, and that's what I did. I picked each part apart. I went through each section over and over until I finally figured out, okay, this is how the sequence should be to make it a smooth transaction. I'm not getting paid any extra for this. I'm here. I'm just doing it, but I'm doing it for the guys. I'm doing it so this is all streamlined and we can get this taken care of and we can move on. Meanwhile, I'm still trying to find somebody to cover up a guy that I got to let go because he's being an idiot. So I got to replace him. And my supervisor, who I passed that on, I interviewed this lady. I said, call her, make the thing, send me an email. I haven't heard from her, so you need to get a hold of her and you need to make plans to get her up here. And I sent her an email. I said, listen, here's her number. Call her. I'm working on this. Now, I can't do it all. I mean, you either want me to do the supervisor's job only, or you want to help get the system up and running. I can't do everything. You know what I mean? I can multitask with the best of them, but this is right here. This is taking some thinking. I gotta do that. And all she's got to do is make a phone call and tell the lady to be there at Thursday at 10:30. I'm not asking her to do much. God sakes knows I'm not asking her to do much. But anyway, this right here, this one was gonna kick my butt. I knew it from the beginning. But once I had that limited training, the key points kind of popped out in my head. I could see what was important, and fortunately filter out the rest of the crap. And now I've got it down to what is important, and now I can distill it, I can hone it, I can make it like a razor, so that when I go to train everybody, they'll get this piece of paper. I'll walk them through it, and if they've got questions, this paper will be right there, and they'll be able to like, okay, I got this. So I like a challenge. That's why I like being the supervisor. It doesn't always pay well. You don't get thank yous for it. I put in more time and effort than I will ever be compensated for. But in the end, 2 things will happen. 1, I will have something that the guys that work for me can understand and not stress over and get the job done. So that when it comes time to go live with the system, they're going to be like, we got this. 2, I know I figured it out. And while it may not be rocket science, I'm not claiming I'm the smartest guy in the world. I'm not a computer tech. But when it comes to stuff like this, when it comes to cameras, when it comes to security things, this is what I do. I've done it for almost 24, 25 years, something like that. This is not my first day at the rodeo. I like a challenge, and this was a challenge. I'm not perfect with it yet, but in the end, I will get this figured out, and we'll be able to use this system. Even though it's not the system that we were supposed to get, we will use the system, and it'll work. So I apologize for not getting videos up sooner. I've had a lot on my plate, and I told you guys a couple of videos back that this whole getting this figured out was going to take some time, and it has. That and my knee bothering me, and just trying to get that figured out. And I'm still limping a little bit, but it's getting better. And just trying to get all this stuff for work figured out, get new people in to replace people that are leaving. I just got a lot going on, but another couple of weeks, and we'll be over the big hump. And then I can get back to doing the videos. I have been trying to watch your videos at least give you a thumbs up. I haven't commented much, but to be honest with you, the time spent at work and working on these things on my own time, trying to figure them out at the house, and then coming up with stuff that I can print out and bring into work and try is just eating up a lot of my time. So I apologize. I appreciate you sticking with me. And like I said, we get this knocked out, and it should be good. I'd like to have by the end of March, I would really like to have everything streamlined and working perfect. Get good people in here, make sure everything's covered, and then just let the machine run. Once you get the right parts, the right pieces, and you get everybody on the same page, and everybody knows what their job is, the machine runs beautiful. And that's what I'm trying to get here. It's a challenge, but I enjoy the challenge. It's stressful. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's been some couple of nights laying in bed thinking about things, trying to get my head around it, but sometimes that's what it takes to get the job done, and that's what I'm here to do. So anyway, hope you're all doing well, and I will be catching you in the next video. Hopefully it won't be this long a gap. I felt terrible. I wanted to do something Sunday night, but I was working on stuff here, trying to get stuff done because I was taking Monday night off, and then Monday come around, and I'd had my eyes done, and like I said, the eyes are doing great, so I'm not complaining about that at all. It's just I got a lot going on right now. So, thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next video.